Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Hey, folks, if you've been following the NFL buzz lately, you know something huge might be brewing in the NFC North, and it involves none other than Nick Bosa. Yes, that dominant pass rusher from the San Francisco 49ers could be on his way to Lambeau Field, and the implications are enormous for the Green Bay Packers. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would a trade like this happen, and what does it mean for the Packers' Super Bowl chances? Well, let's break it down, because what we're hearing from some very solid sources suggests that an unprecedented trade could be on the horizon, one that might shake up the entire league, and more specifically, the division. First off, the rumor mill is buzzing with whispers from credible insiders, including some whispers from Rossini's sources, about the 49ers making Bosa available. And get this, the Packers are right there in the mix, eyeing a move that could give their defense an elite upgrade. The deal being talked about would send Bosa from San Francisco to Green Bay in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-rounder in 2027. That's a hefty price, but for a player of Bosa's caliber, a four-time Pro Bowler, a guy who consistently wreaks havoc in the backfield, that price might be worth it, especially when you consider how much he could transform the Packers' defense. Now, the 49ers, sitting at a 5-5 record, are in a tricky spot. Their offense has been focusing heavily on trying to get back on track, but their defense has been a bright spot, especially with Bosa leading the charge. However, with the team's current cap situation, about $26 million in relief, making Bosa available could be a strategic move. They can free up some cap space and focus on their offensive needs, even if it means parting ways with one of their most disruptive defenders. The fact that the 49ers are considering trading Bosa at this point shows how much the NFL has become a business of strategic moves, even for top-tier talent. For Green Bay, this move could be nothing short of transformative. Nick Bosa is no ordinary pass rusher. He's a game-changer. When healthy, he's one of the most feared defensive players in the league, capable of elevating an entire unit with his relentless pressure. His stats speak volumes. In 2025, he accumulated 18 solo tackles, 12 assists, 5 sacks, and even forced a fumble, earning a PFF grade of 90, one which is among the best in the league for defensive ends. His ability to generate pressure, pushing a quarter of the time, makes him a nightmare for offensive lines, and having him on the Packers' front line would be a huge step toward contending again. The potential impact of acquiring Bosa is staggering. Imagine a front that includes him, along with the young and promising Lucas Van Ness, who, despite being questionable with a foot injury, could benefit immensely from Bosa's presence. The combination could be lethal. When you add Bosa's ability to consistently get after the quarterback, the Packers' defense could become one of the league's most feared, forcing turnovers, pressuring the QB, and drastically reducing opponents' point totals. Analytically, the numbers back this up. Bosa's presence on the field could boost the Packers' sacks by over 20 in a season and improve their run defense EPA, expected points added, by around 25%. Opponents' points per game could drop significantly, say, from around 21, to closer to 17, making it much harder for opponents to keep pace. Moreover, Bosa's addition could lead to a surge in turnovers, with an increase of about 11 takeaways, which is huge for a team looking to flip the script and turn close games into wins. This kind of defensive upgrade could be the missing piece that elevates the Packers from a solid team to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Now, from a betting perspective, the odds reflect just how much Bosa's addition could shake things up. Initially, the odds for the Packers to make a deep playoff run and possibly contend for the title were around plus 1,200. Pretty long odds, but with a move like this, those could tighten to around plus 600, putting Green Bay squarely in the conversation among the league's elite. It's clear that the front office is looking at the big picture, and acquiring a player like Bosa would be a clear signal that they're going all in this season. On the other side, the 49ers are likely to be cautious about such a move. They are still in the playoff hunt with a 5-5 record, but giving up Bosa could be seen as a gamble. The team's focus on their offense and the desire to free up cap space suggest they're weighing their options carefully. But for the Packers, this is a shot at a real game changer, a chance to bolster the trenches, a place where the game is often won or lost. A dominant pass rush can change the entire complexion of a game, and if Green Bay manages to pull this off, they could be looking at a playoff push with even more confidence. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential trade also signals a shift in the league's power dynamics. The Packers, under head coach Matt LaFleur, have been building a solid team, especially on offense, but their defense has been inconsistent at times. Adding Bosa could be the catalyst to turn that around, giving them the elite edge rush they need to compete with the best. Remember, in recent seasons, having a game-wrecking pass rusher has made all the difference. Think Khalil Mack with the Bears or T.J. Watt with the Steelers. It's about having that guy who can change the course of a game with one sack, one strip, or a game-changing pressure. Now, if this deal happens, it would also be a statement from the Packers' front office that they're serious about contending right now. With Bosa on board, the defense immediately becomes more aggressive, more disruptive, and more capable of forcing mistakes from opponents. That, combined with their offensive talent, could be the perfect recipe for a deep playoff run. And let's not forget, the NFC is wide open this year, with teams like the Eagles, 49ers, and Cowboys all vying for supremacy. The Packers could position themselves as serious contenders if they bolster their defense with a player like Bosa. Of course, there are still questions. Will the 49ers actually pull the trigger on this trade? How will Bosa fit into the Packers' defensive scheme? And what about the long-term cap implications? These are all questions that will be answered in the coming weeks as negotiations potentially heat up. But one thing is clear. The potential for a blockbuster move like this is enough to excite every Packers fan, dreaming of a defense that can dominate in the trenches and carry the team to another Super Bowl. In the end, it's all about the passion for the game, the love for the team, and the belief that with the right pieces, the Green Bay Packers can once again rise to the top of the NFL. The possibility of adding a player like Nick Bosa is not just a rumor. It's a statement that the Packers are ready to make bold moves if it means chasing that elusive 7th Lombardi trophy. Fans should be excited. This could be the start of something special. And whether or not this trade happens, it's always thrilling to imagine what the future holds for Green Bay, especially when big names and big moves are on the table. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe Nick Bosa would be the game changer the Packers need? Or do you think it's too risky to give up such valuable draft capital for a player who might only be with the team for a few seasons? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. This is what makes our community strong, sharing ideas, passion, and hope for another Super Bowl run. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. We're in this together, and the future looks brighter than ever with possibilities like this on the horizon.